All right, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys can hear me. If you can, please let me know. Awesome. See, I don't know what's going on with you. You guys can hear me as soon as we go live, but they cannot hear me when they're backstage. Another great episode of Booze and Booze coming up right now. We got Josh Hurd right backstage. Super excited to talk to him and see what's going on over there at Malvern Manor. But before we bring him in, let's bring in everybody else. We don't need no introductions. You know who we are. We're the heathens of this fucking field.
$5.
I'm not paying it. I'm
That's
in debt.
Fact.
I'm in debt.
Hey, baby girl. Hey, Allison and Kim and Tina.
I'm in debt to that F word, I swear.
Yeah, you owe a lot of money.
I could probably restore Malvern Manor at this point and build another one. Damn, it's been a shitty week.
And it's only Wednesday, man.
No, it's Monday times 3.
I'm sharing us out.
Hi, Michelle.
That's a lot of work.
Hey, Holly. Hey, Tim.
He's got that Moscow Mule in a copper cup.
I love
That's
it.
my man.
I was telling him earlier, I've never had one.
Oh, you're missing
I've never had it either.
Oh, you guys all need to have these, man. There's nothing better than this.
They're
There's
phenomenal.
like 4 shots of vodka in each tonight, so.
Please tell me you have mint. Do you have mint in it?
No, I don't play with mint. I got lime in it.
You
I
done
don't
ruined
play
it.
with
You
mint.
ruined it.
It's not a mint julep, dude. It's vodka, ginger beer, and half a fresh squeezed lime.
That's normally how it goes.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Well,
What do you got tonight, Tori?
Hi, Shiona. Where's your mint coming from? You just trying to get that pinky out when you drink it?
Yeah. Trying to be fucking fancy.
How much money do you want to
Me?
spend tonight, man? All these effers.
That was
I
quick.
don't know. I like to
Did I have
fun.
my pinky out?
I'm also like 5. I'm already 5
I'm
beers
lost.
deep, so.
Oh, no. This will be a 32-minute episode, folks.
Well, you see, I got this awesome beer that I'm super excited to promote. It's actually Market Garden Brewery from Ohio. And you cannot have a paranormal podcast without paranormal beer after a location.
Doesn't
you can't
show
see it, but it's a Franklin Castle beer. Come on.
Okay.
Paranormal
Fair-
podcast,
fair enough.
paranormal beer.
Fair enough.
I'm 5 deep already. So let's bring in Josh. I'm done
Tim,
talking.
I'm glad to be here, buddy. And Aaron, you're going to have to deal with you and your freaking captains, so knock it off.
All right, we're bringing in Josh.
Bring him in.
All right,
What
everybody.
kind of
Josh
time?
Hurd.
What's up?
Hi.
What's going on, Josh?
How you guys doing?
Doing all right, you?
Hanging in there, man. Not doing bad. Not doing bad at all.
I'm trying to avoid the logo on my face.
Oh, I don't even know why that's up there. That's
You
normally,
got to
that's,
share your square.
Sure you don't.
that's,
Sure
nor-
you don't,
that's normally Steve's spot.
Like, you know, fuck him tonight.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's smaller. There you go.
That's much better. You know I need all the space for my head.
I know. There's not enough.
Where's your poster, your banner tonight? I don't see your other face.
I don't need to do that every week. I had to make sure. I was like, all right, Nick's coming on. I gotta be one up.
I gotta look good twice.
Yeah, exactly. In case I need to slide out, people think I'm still here.
Jesus.
Oh,
He can't help
my.
us now.
I apologize in advance for all the shenanigans.
I don't mind shenanigans at all. I welcome it, honestly. Yeah.
Someone say shenanigans?
You'll fit right in then.
You mean shenanigans?
It's been a long week, guys. How you guys been?
Oh, man, just living.
Yep.
Living. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but I'm waiting for not today.
Just surviving.
Just got to make it to Friday, right?
Oh, God, and then the other work starts.
Oh, stop
Truth.
it. You love what you do, Steve.
I do.
I am sneaking into your photography tour, totally dressed as
Which one?
the photo I sent.
Dressed all ratchet-like.
All ratchet, blonde hair. I'm gonna put on a skirt. You are not even gonna know it's me inside that building.
That's hot.
Can't imagine. That's hot.
I'm gonna be the one looking like what's her name from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Don't
Oh,
sully.
Jessica Rabbit?
Do not sully Jessica Rabbit's looks by me putting your face on her. Okay, you're ruining my childhood as we speak.
You need to. Never mind. Just
No,
scratch
no,
that.
do it, Tori. Do it. What do you got to say,
Well, all
Tori?
right. So what have you been up to, Josh? Now that
I'm
we're
good.
done rambling about nonsense, what have you been up to?
Oh my God. Well, it's October, so it's like the busy season. I mean, it's like Christmas for us, so
Mhm.
it's kind of like my favorite time of year. So yeah, I mean, just like, editing as much as possible, getting as much like paranormal, spooky content out there and ready to roll for the Halloween season. Trying to dodge and dip the Rona at every dip and turn, you know what I mean? Just stay healthy. That's it, man. Just living the dream or the nightmare or whatever the hell it is.
Somebody's dream.
Yeah, somebody's dream. But yeah.
No,
Other than that,
Allison, Matt cannot reface Jessica Rabbit.
Okay. Challenge
don't.
accepted. For some reason, these creeps just want to see me in drag really bad.
I mean, can you blame us?
No. I have amazing legs.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Hey, you know what? We all got to own what we own.
People aren't going to want to come on our show anymore.
I will vouch for those legs, though. I did see them at Wilson Castle while filming. Pretty
I don't
nice.
want to know how.
Talk about that experience. That was between us. This is why I usually just drink beer. I'm going to apologize for everything right now.
Oh, God.
yeah, I saw you sipping on the Moscow Mule over there.
Yeah, well, like Mike said, it's been a real hell of a week. It's only Wednesday.
It's been a
Like
hell
one
of
of
a
the best
week.
drinks ever, though, man. It's
Oh,
really
dude, there's nothing better than a fresh mule. I've been craving one, and I said, I'm going to go buy limes today and be an adult. Here I am.
That's what classifies an adult buying limes.
I was gonna
Because
say,
you know what? Someone that's not an adult would use that shitty squeeze lime concentrate. And that's just not the same.
That's what I was gonna say. You strike me as like a
That's
squeezy
fair.
lime guy.
Oh, no. I got fresh limes. I mean, I can't go pick them in Boston. They don't really grow here. But if I could, I would.
You'd have your own lime tree.
I would. And an avocado tree, and I would live happily ever after underneath both of them.
We can
Fresh
send you
mules aren't bad.
sprouts.
Sprout?
Mhm.
Oh, gotta love some mules.
So, Josh, I know that you made some documentaries. Do you have anything new coming out?
I'm I'm working on one right now. That I'm going to. I mean, I'm not going to be releasing it immediately, but it'll be coming out soon, like next year for sure. I'm going to be entering it into like a couple different film festivals, like the VidiSpace Film Festival for sure. I'm going to do that, and but yeah, I'm always working on something. I've got a couple documentaries that'll be coming out next year for sure. So yeah.
Sweet. Where can people watch the ones that you already have?
So VidiSpace right now is probably the best place, and then obviously like on Amazon as well. They're all over the place. So yeah. So if you got Amazon, they're free,
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
So tell us about Malvern Manor for those that are not familiar.
I haven't been out there yet, so
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh.
Guys, we got to get you out here for sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, Malvern Manor is it's a 10,000 square foot paranormal playground basically. It's it's an old building. It was built in the mid 1800s. Primarily its function was a hotel at that time, and it ran as a hotel all the way up until the 1950s. At that time it becomes like what we would consider to be more of like a nursing home type of setting. The nursing home doesn't last very long. In the 70s, they were shut down because the hallways aren't wide enough to support transporting patients. And so this is where it becomes the group home. And the group home is servicing any type of mental disorder you could possibly imagine. So the clientele here is quite interesting, honestly. It's, things that we see every day. People, with like Down syndrome, people with drug and alcohol abuse, very common type ailments. And then, of course, you have patients that are more exotic, kind of on the opposite side of the coin, patients with, DID or multiple personalities, as we used to refer to it as. Schizophrenics, even murderers are housed here. Like, it's a very eclectic group of people coexisting together for sure. So, I mean, that's kind of what really interested me in this place initially. It was just like the the clientele itself. And I mean, it ran as such, guys, all the way up until 2005. So it really wasn't that long ago. And this building was still in full swing. But yeah, this building is, it's pretty interesting to say the least. That's for sure. So yeah.
And what are some of the major reports from there, activity-wise?
As far as activity goes, it kind of depends on where you're at, like in the building. But we have, physical manipulation of objects, tugging on your clothes, all sorts of fun stuff, disembodied voices. I mean, even the shadow figure that people see that kind of rushes at you and charges you. That's usually the phenomenon that'll send the majority of people out the front door when that big guy is charging after you. But up in the attic, there's something very strange going on up there that we're not quite privy to, that we can't exactly put our finger on. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like, depending on where you're at in the building is kind of what you're going to be experiencing.
Got a question.
What's that?
It's Hauser.
How many times has Mitch been drunk this week? He's still drunk. He's never sobered up, bro. He's like all sorts of stuff, man. This poor guy.
We actually need a reschedule with Johnny. He was supposed to be on a little while back. We had to reschedule, so we need
He
to
is.
Yeah,
He's
December
already
9th, I think,
rescheduled.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happens here. I just show up.
Oh, that's a good
Sounds
question.
about right.
Same here.
Were there reports of activity when the building was still open, and how did the people that were there how did they react and respond to it?
So there was, for sure. One of the first things that I did after we hired a private detective to really dig up some of the history of the place, but I also invited the former nursing staff back to this building just to kind of walk me down memory lane, right? And then ultimately try to see if we could, coincide anything with things that we had been experiencing with historical fact. I think that's the most interesting, especially when, the paranormal and history can kind of come together and shake hands for a moment. So that's the stuff that really fascinates me. But yeah, a lot of the staff, there was some staff members only made it a week while they were here because they were like, no, there's something weird about that. One of the last people that I had coming in here to kind of show me around was a former nurse or whatever. And she's like, I absolutely hate this. She was only here for 15 minutes and she was gone. She's like, I can't be here anymore. She's like, I swear to God, they're watching me. I can feel the eyes on me. I'm like, yeah.
That's what we want, but not everybody wants.
Sounds like the kind of place that I gotta get down to. I gotta get there.
Oh, for sure.
We've
You
had a
said
couple
it.
questions. Sorry, Tori.
No, you're good.
I know I'm good. I'm just apologizing for cutting you off. I'm trying to keep a track of them because we're trying to be good people tonight. How many square feet is the building?
10,000. Right at
10,000.
Right
Boom.
at
Your question.
How many floors was it again? Is it just first and second, or is it?
Yeah, we got a first level, a second level, and then the attic. So it's really just 2 floors. But then we got 2 basements and an attic.
Natalie is asking, do you collect haunted items at the manor?
Not intentionally. But people bring weird crap all the time, and here I am, that's me. What do you do? What do you do?
You keep them.
Absolutely, I keep them. I keep them, and I try weird, experiments and all that fun stuff too. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
At best, it can supercharge your location even more.
It's weird too because I do think there's something to that. Absolutely. Not to mention this building is entirely different than how it was when I first walked in. It's completely shifted and morphed into something that I don't even necessarily recognize any longer. We're always learning and trying to grow and develop, but this is weird. I don't know what the hell to make of this stuff, really. It makes me wonder if it's some kind of paranormal baggage that we all bring with us when we go to these locations, and I don't know. But now at this point, we've had thousands of people probably in and out of this place. So it's kind of weird to
Leaving their energy impact on it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird.
Do you live there full time? Are you there all the time?
Oh no, I'm here all the time, but I don't live here. It feels like I live here sometimes. But
There's
no,
people at Homestead right now.
Shut up.
Ratchet's there.
Dude, man, for sure. That show was badass, though, wasn't it? Did you guys watch it?
Go throw your
Did you guys watch
walkie-talkie at her.
No, not yet. No,
Oh my god, you got to watch it. It's disturbing as hell. I love it.
I can't.
it looked disturbing. What else we got for questions over here?
We
Oh,
have,
you
did we have anything going on outside? Were there any outbuildings or any bodies of water or anything near the property?
So right out back here, actually, just kind of behind me, there is an old trailer, and this trailer or whatever was actually owned by the lady that used to run this place. And she loved the place so much, like that was her house, this trailer home or whatever, that was her place. So there is that outbuilding for sure. We're kind of in the process of gutting it out right now, and I want to make it into some more sleeping quarters, put another restroom out there, maybe another shower or something. We'll figure it out. But yeah.
What, bathrooms and a shower? This place sounds fancy for a place to
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, we're moving on up. We just got the shower like a month ago, so I'm stoked.
Here's another good one. Being a mental/health institution, were they separated by floors? And if so, which floor would have the most intense activity?
So you would think they were kind of separated by floors, but it would appear that they weren't really separated that well. I mean, it does seem that there were more guys in this one hallway than there were females, but at the same time, they weren't separated that well. I honestly think if they had space or whatever and needed that space, they just used it for whomever it was. It's like, for an example, down what we call the Shadow Man hallway, there was a gentleman who had murdered 3 people in the past. Directly across the hall from that guy was a gentleman that was there just because he was an alcoholic trying to dry up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure that the alcoholic gentleman that was just trying to clean up here, like, I don't think he slept well. You know what I mean? Knowing that right across the hall is a dude that had, killed 3 other people in the past. So
it was pretty much a prison.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
Do you have any idea of how many deaths have taken place there? I'm assuming there has been some.
Yeah, so as far as death on property, we do know of 187 for sure. And that's just what we have found at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, that's fairly significant too. So yeah. But I mean, you also think that, it was an old folks home. It was the group home. I mean, even when it was a hotel, for an example. I mean, I can tell you, there was at least 4 suicides during that time period when it was just a hotel. People would come here and, for whatever reason, decide to end their life. But yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of weird stuff. This building has a crazy history for sure.
Now, with it being like so recently closed, do you think it's been easier to find like the history and the information as opposed to something that's been closed longer? Because I know sometimes there's like laws and stuff where you maybe can't find as much information about that.
Right. So, I mean, initially walking into the building, there was a ton of documentation that was left behind, like just left here. Now, obviously, we've kept the documentation. We've cataloged what was, pertinent information. But for the most part, I mean, we took that documentation, got it out of the building. Obviously, we still have it. We still own it. But I mean, it's not, anything that anybody could just get their hands on. Number one, I don't want to step on toes of family. Number two, it's a HIPAA violation and all that crap. And I'm certainly not playing that game. I'm just trying to play by the rules. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as far as like history, no, it's been an absolute nightmare, to tell you the truth. Like, that's why we had to hire the private detective to really dig up some of the history of the place. The Historical Society is a couple towns over. They've been somewhat helpful as well. But yeah, I mean, ultimately it's just been a nightmare, really, just digging through everything and all that. I mean, some of it's kind of fun though.
What's your favorite story?
As far as like my favorite story is probably like, there was this dude way back in the day. It was like 1910. This gentleman, it was like July or August of 1910. This guy named William Stamper took over ownership of this building while it was still a hotel and all of that. And everything was going good up until December then of 1910. And there was an outbreak of diphtheria. And apparently this building was like kind of the epicenter or the antecedent of said pandemic or what have you, because people then had to quarantine in this building. Now, diphtheria, apparently, I'm not a medical guy or anything, but apparently it's quite aggressive. So, I mean, people were dropping like flies. Now, sadly, one of the people that passed away was this girl named Eunice Stamper, who was William Stamper's 12-year-old daughter, who passed away December 31st of 1910. So New Year's Eve, and she's passing away of diphtheria at the ripe old age of 12, you know. We had been getting like all of these EVPs and voices over like the spirit box and the geoport and all that stuff, like screaming at us saying Eunice, Eunice, Eunice. So it's like, well, who the hell is Eunice? You know, and then digging into all of this stuff and finding that, like, that's certainly one of my favorite stories for sure.
Now, do you think, I know you mentioned they quarantined then.
Correct.
For that issue. Now, do you think now, and I know a lot of haunted locations are hearing this, it's coming into play, it's going to be a nonstop question. Being quarantined at that point in time then, is your activity picking up now that we're re-quarantining? Do you think maybe it's bringing out some residual energy and bringing out some, past emotions?
I do think that, yeah, given the times and given the similarities and the stories there with quarantining, pandemics, all that fun stuff, like, yeah, you would think that it absolutely did kick up, which it did. What's interesting to me is the fact that the spirits seem to know what's happening, that they're almost like, oh yeah, we know what's going on, because you'll ask and it'll say, you know, do you know why people aren't coming to see you as often? You know, and it'll say COVID. It's like, how the hell are you even, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that even work?
Are they cognizant of our world? Yeah.
Yeah. How are they so self-aware that they know what's going on?
Exactly. Which then, I mean, yeah, leads to like 1,000 more questions, right? So it is pretty interesting though. But yeah, activity did seem to kick up. It always seems to kick up. I mean, this time of year, sure. But I also think there's a lot of psychosomatic stuff that goes along with that, just like given the Halloween season. I tell you, like, the most active time of year at this building is Christmas time. And I don't know if that's like the emotional attachment to the season or what. But I mean,
like
we
the
do
one
our
time
best here. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the one time it brought out happiness. The one time.
Yeah. Yeah. The one time
people were excited
that they were able to see their families, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, God, man, you think of that. Like, just,
or the opposite, where they have no family and it's extra sad for them because no one came to see them.
That as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, we do our best around here. God, we have like 3 or 4 Christmas trees that we'll put up, you know, and things of that nature just to do it. But it does.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Elicit a response for sure.
I'm throwing $20 in. I'm buying Malvern Manor a Christmas tree this year. The rest of you guys in?
I'm in.
That's awesome.
Sure.
I'm all about it. Thanks, guys.
I guess we're all on board. Thanks,
There's
Mike.
And then
$80
tonight on the
No,
show-
you didn't have to. I said I'll throw $20. We'll
Make the
donate
rest
a
of us
Christmas
like
tree.
daylight, Mike. Thanks, though.
We're donating a Christmas tree to
Like,
Malvern.
way to put me on the spot, Dick.
And then your $5 fuck words that can go towards your Christmas tree.
Yeah,
too.
you can
Yeah,
make
yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
trees
yeah.
for the whole country at this point, Mike.
Yeah, at this point,
Yeah,
I can buy a
Mike,
Christmas
you
tree
might
for
do that.
every haunted location.
Jesus
Literally
Christ.
fine.
Mike gets charged $5 every time he says the word fuck.
No, you charge
I mean,
$5.
Matt's got a charge
I
every
can
time
do
he says. Every time Matt says GD, Matt gets a $5
Which is
charge.
ridiculous. Goddamn is not even offensive. I don't get it. Kenna does not like me to say goddamn, so Ken is not here, goddamn it.
I know there's one word that she does not like.
Moist?
No.
That's a good
It has something to do with that.
Damn.
Cunt?
No.
Damn.
Whoops.
Damn.
Mike, really, dude? Like, really? Of all the words, Mike?
Scratch that. I think that's like a $20 charge.
That's a synonym.
Like, pick up a StreamYard and the shit is free, dude. Like, come on.
I don't have a filter. You guys, we're like 12 episodes deep. You know I don't have a filter.
Josh, this is why I was concerned when Mike said he was 5 beers deep already. We can only keep Mike for an hour before he gets and he's already there. So,
It's totally
on
good.
behalf of all of us at Booze and Booze, we apologize to you all from Mike.
His brain to mouth filter is broken.
He
It's
doesn't
been
have
a
one.
long week. You know, we're talking about all this energy picking up at haunted locations, and truthfully, I feel like this year itself, with the quarantine and the presidential debate. Like we're not going to get into politics, but I feel like everything that's gone on has been so negative. It's brought negativity towards even the living, that I feel like it's brought out negativity in the spiritual realm as well.
Yeah, it's like it's like the pink slime from Ghostbusters too. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Yeah,
It's like that river of ooze shit. You know,
We do have another question.
And it's damp.
Somebody wants Josh to talk about the crazy EVP in the attic.
Which one?
Angel says crazy EVP in the attic.
We've had so many crazy EVPs in the attic. Was that Angel?
Is that yeah.
That was Angel.
Okay.
Yep.
Angel. Are you talking about the one with Rick and David? I bet that's the one.
Do you think the attic is the most active spot, or is it kind of?
Yeah, I mean the attic is certainly up there. That's for sure. But there's two places in the building that I absolutely despise. And that's the Shadow Man hallway and the attic. And like the Shadow Man hallway, like I don't even vacuum back there. You know what I'm saying? Like I absolutely hate it. It's one of those things that it's like, if you have work to do back there, you put in the earbuds, you keep your head down, you get your shit done, and then you move on. That's it. Yeah. For sure.
She said yes. She is talking about that one.
So my buddy David and Rick were upstairs in the attic, and you hear like this. It sounds like a shouting match, basically. You hear this guy going like, "Hey, get your hands off of me, get off of me," all of this weird stuff. And it was like violent. And it sounded like it was right underneath them. Well, directly underneath them, weirdly enough, is room like 17 and 18. And the story goes that the guy from room 18, 3 to 4 times a week, usually in the middle of the night, would sneak across the hall into room 17, where he would then sexually assault the gentleman that was in that room. I mean, there's over 150 pieces of documentation talking about that as well. So It's just weird, It's just weird stuff.
Looks like
everybody's
looks like
saying Nick. It looks like Nick's on.
Nick's Nick's watching. You got big shoes to fill, Josh.
Let's just bring Nick back on.
No shit, right? I got some voiceover work to do for Nick the second I hop out of here.
That's probably why he's in here. He's like making sure you're going to get back to work.
They're watching.
He'd be like, "Hey."
He's
He'd be like, "Let me take over. You get your ass to work." Yeah.
He's like, "You got 32 minutes."
He's like, "Get it." Yeah.
Well, hello, Nick.
Hello, Nick, and everyone else.
Tune back in, and everybody. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, everybody in the chat saying hi to Nick. Hi, Nick. Hi, everybody else. I mean, with the COVID like increasing, I think the activity at certain locations, I would think a spot like yours, like you said, is going to have more activity. Like you said, they're aware of it. Do you think that anything from like COVID creates more energy, or do you think they are just more aware of their surroundings than we think?
God, that's a great question, man. That's a great
Because
question.
like there's obviously so much death and so much sadness and stuff going on now. Do you think that's fueling activity at locations, or do you think they just are way more aware than we actually ever give them credit for?
I mean, it's quite possible, right? Like, I mean, there was 1 week this year, guys, 1 week, and I had 3 friends pass away within that same week. It was pretty shitty. Every one of these people was a ghost hunter, had been to this building a few times or whatever, and the amount of shit that happened in this place was ridiculous. And I only kind of chopped it up to them. What's that?
You want people to keep coming there, right? You might want to tell them that these people all came here and they died,
No. But it was interesting though, just because I don't know, man. Like it kicked up hard, like for a couple weeks after that, But it does make you wonder, like, what is fueling this fire? Like, I mean, it could be a combination of everything, like what we were talking about earlier with the negativity going on in the world right now and the political climate of just this country and the world itself. I mean, for God's sake, that's all you hear about anymore,
Now, do you think maybe it could be the lack of people coming through? We're not going through with our geoports. We're not going through with our millimeters. We're not going through with this equipment that's taking their energy. Do you think now we're at a point they're rebuilding their energy and now they're able to manifest?
So once we first closed down over here, and we never actually like officially closed, like the people that still had overnight dates booked were more than welcome to come. I would come, I would deep clean the place, I would leave the key or whatever, wish them the best of luck, and that was that. But I thought, well, if you're with a group of people that you're already comfortable with, you go ahead and go for it, do it. Who am I to tell you not to? But a lot of people didn't cancel, but they pushed their dates back. So there was a fair stretch of time where nobody was here, except me, just being the jackass that I am. But I'm here, I'm doing my thing. And it was crazy because once we then opened back up and people were kind of like, showing up again, like on the daily, those people were getting lit up. And it makes you wonder because it's like, here they are, like not doing anything. They're not getting the attention that they normally would get.
They missed it.
And then, there you go. Now they're just.
And it also makes me wonder because when you think about COVID is airborne. Diphtheria is airborne. It's been a minute since I've brushed up on diseases and stuff, but I believe diphtheria is when they get like pus pockets, like in the back of their throat, and they end up creating like these.
Sounds awful.
Everybody's like, God damn.
Where's the mute button? Mute.
But it creates like this like mucus. I can't even say it with a straight face. Anyway, it cuts off their airway. They can't breathe. So, I mean, it's kind of the same ballpark when you, and then like you have hundreds of thousands of people scared, like palpable fear, because when you watch the news, it's bumped it up to now, like if you catch this, you're likely going to die from it. That's what people thought. So it makes me wonder, like, how many of the living were exuding that fear out into the atmosphere. And not only that, but the deaths that have resulted from COVID, then you have all of that in the atmosphere. And then, I don't know. I'm not really sure where I was going with that. It's just in my brain.
That makes two of us.
I'm the ADD one of the group.
And get to the booze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quit drinking that
I
tea.
need to.
You put some Baileys and Kahlua in that, please, next week.
Matt would
maybe
like Matt would say, think smart.
143 shots of vodka.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart.
A whole bottle of wine. Some people do that on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know who would do that.
Do what?
Then it gets us in trouble.
Wine.
And we weren't even there when it happened.
I wasn't even on the show that night. Apparently, Erin got wine wasted.
She got
Matt's girlfriend.
That's awesome.
We talked her into a second bottle of wine, and then he paid for it.
Tonight.
Please drink responsibly, everybody.
Yeah.
Just don't drive. Then do whatever the hell you want.
Just don't drive. I don't condone that.
Most of us are right.
If you could spend, I want to ask you this question. If you could spend 1 week in any other location, the whole week, where would you pick?
Not Saratoga.
Shut up.
No, I mean, obviously there's a few buildings that are on the bucket list, but I think they're also on the bucket list of thousands of other people, like Waverly. Like that's a building I've never walked inside of, and I gotta check that place out.
I love Waverly. Oh.
Yeah, but like, what I really enjoy the most is like, God, when you like stumble upon a new place, right? Or you just like something gets dumped in your lap, and it's like off the hook. It's crazy, right? And you just want to keep going. Like that's probably the place, right? Like that would be the place for me. Like what this place was when I first walked in, like I was hooked after the first night. It just kept coming back and coming back and coming back. So that's what I like, man. I like the discovery aspect of everything.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that answer.
Thank you.
It does. It makes sense because you go to these locations all the time, and there's places that people, like you said, you go and you beat to death, and you go there all the time. And even though the activity is great and you love it, it's that new place that is active that you love going back to the most because you never know what to expect next time. It's still new every time.
Absolutely.
Hey, Steve, you got a little something on your nose, bro.
Is it brown?
It is. Does it stink?
This is why
It's been 35 minutes. I've not made fun of you once, buddy.
I know that was
overdue. And I love you. I told Aaron I was going to ask you out publicly on camera. So
Say that. Ask me out for a drink. There we go.
how many drinks are you going to take me, Steve?
Steve has the thickest skin of anybody I've met, and I love it.
gotta-
love it.
You just got to
Steve
roll
is
with
like
it,
a
right?
walking Valium.
He just
So
he
mellow
doesn't
all the
care.
time.
Like, yeah, whatever.
He's like, whatever. So
I
Olivia is asking you if the spirits of Malvern treat you different than they do the patrons that go there.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, God, there's been so many days. Well, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Jack in The Shining. You know what I mean? Like I'm walking around, I'm talking to the walls, basically. Like if
Please
anybody
tell me your
walked
hair's
in-
the same.
yeah. But like if anybody walked in here and saw me, like they'd probably be like, okay, the cheese is slid off this dude's cracker. You know what I mean? Like he's not exactly the coldest beer in the fridge, but regardless, yeah, probably. I don't know, maybe. I know like they respect me when I say, okay, that's enough. Like, don't mess with me today. Like, I'm just not in the mood. Like, I don't get messed with, you know? There are other times I'll walk in the door and I've heard my name called audibly. I mean, Jesus, like usually that's early on in the day or whatever. And so that's usually like, okay, that's smoke break for me. You know what I mean? Like I just walk right back out the door and I'm like, okay, first smoke break of the day already. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. They could probably mess with me more. They probably could, but I don't know. Maybe it's a respect thing. I don't know what it is.
Has there been a time that you've been like just actually scared in the building where you're like, that's enough. I'm taking a break from here. That's too much.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of one of the reasons I don't vacuum down the Shadow Man hallway, right, is I was walking back there with a vacuum and the Shadow Man, like right as I was turning the corner, the shadow figure comes like boom right on me. And I mean, I dropped, this is kind of embarrassing. I dropped the vacuum and I ran out the front door. That took like 6 cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like shaking. But that's happened to me like 4 times now. Just with him, you know. Now, one time I was kind of begging for it to happen. I stood back there for 4 hours by myself, I wanted to see what happens if we don't react in any way, right? So if we're not jumping, we're not flinching, we're not running away or anything like that. But I still flinched. I didn't run, but I flinched, which really sucks because I have to do the experiment again whenever I get the guts to do it. But yeah, man, like that right there is terrifying.
Have you been able to figure out who it could be?
Yeah, we know his name is Johnny. We do know that. Johnny was 6'7". He was a nonverbal patient. Yeah, right. It is kind of interesting though because Hauser gets a lot of activity down there. But he was also a nonverbal patient. He had murdered a few people in the past. His little claim to fame, I guess, was whenever the nursing staff was doing like bed checks or whatever you want to call it. He would come out of his room and he would chase the nursing staff. Yeah, but it's super interesting to me, right? So here's like a monster of a gentleman who cannot verbally relay emotion, right? He's also probably not able to really process emotion the way we can. He's just kind of acting on it as he sees fit. So he would chase these nurses all the way to the kitchen, which is like half a house away, you know? But he would chase them all the way to the kitchen, but he would never go in. He would stop himself at the threshold there. And I was like, but if you really wanted to hurt one of them, like what better place than a kitchen, right? There's all sorts of sharp shit and all sorts of fun stuff like that. But he never did that. Like he would just go about his business then. It was almost like a game to him. But it's interesting because we're seeing similar behaviors with this guy, right? So yeah, maybe it's something residual in nature. If it is, we don't know what the antecedent of that residual haunting would be, like what's kicking it into motion. We don't have.
Do you think maybe it could have been a rule in the manor that patients weren't allowed in the kitchens?
Sorry, weird shit's going on here, guys.
Probably Johnny.
He's muted.
That was a really loud bang. That was a really loud bang, and then this freaking light thing, because this is all my studio, right? So I got these big lights over here with the umbrella lights. One of them just got knocked over. That's awesome.
We're
Shit.
talking about him. We're talking
Kind
about
of
him.
entertainment we bring you on, dude. You're all very welcome.
Yeah, welcome in.
You're gonna $5 to our patron.
I might have to tell Nick that I'm gonna have to skip out on his voiceover. Kidding,
Yeah, you
buddy.
just made Johnny all mad. He's like, you didn't even tell the story right. That's not what happened.
Not what happened. Come on. Sick and tired of you telling the wrong crap all the time. Yeah.
No, what I was asking was, do you think maybe there would have been a rule back then where patients weren't allowed in the kitchen? So in the afterlife, they know, hey, I'm not allowed in there. That's their safe area.
Sure.
Because I did a residential a couple years ago where there was a spirit, pretty negative. I wouldn't say demonic or evil, but he was kind of negative. But the master bedroom, he would not go in. Like, that was his parents' bedroom growing up. So when you would investigate and you would go there, he would anywhere in the house except the master's bedroom.
That's amazing.
So
like
do you think maybe that's that residual?
Over. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you think about that. Absolutely. Because now you have, I mean, just think of the day-to-day life. Like, you're waking up roughly the same time, you're eating your meals the same time, you're going to bed the same time. You're pretty much going through the same motions every single day. God, that's a really cool thought, man. I like that. Maybe that's it. Maybe that is it. Yeah.
Like, there's just that rule that carries over. Like, I wasn't allowed in there, so now I know I still can't go in there.
I like that. Yeah.
And we don't know. I mean, we don't know how it works for them. Whereas, like, we might only be experiencing, Johnny in the building running through, but maybe to him, kitchen staff is still there, and the people that work there are still there. So he's like, oh, I can't go in there because I can see them in there, and they're going to get mad at me. Just because we don't experience or see them, maybe it doesn't mean that they don't. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kitchen staff could have been a bunch of dudes too that could take him down and would subdue him. Maybe he learned his lesson and stopped going in there.
Possibly. Absolutely. I like that thought.
So do a majority of the spirits that are at Malvern, do they stay in like one specific area, or do they roam about the whole building?
We do have, there's a couple that pretty much just stay put for whatever reason, but for the most part, no. Like, for the most part, they're just pretty much wherever the hell they want to be. Like, there's one upstairs, her name is Susie. She'll always, like, the activity is always like in Susie's room, and we're not quite sure why. But Susie will say things like, oh, I can't leave, I'm scared, he won't let me leave. Like, whoever he is, we don't know. But it is interesting, right? That, I mean, the activity would just be contained to one small little space, when everybody else is seemingly just roaming around doing whatever the hell they want.
And was the whole building was built at once, right? It wasn't like built and then added on to or anything.
No, there was definitely the Shadow Man hallway itself, or the nursing home wing. Like, you get back there, and it definitely looks more medical. They're wider door frames. A lot of the rooms have like a laminate type flooring as well. But it definitely suggests a more medical atmosphere. But anyway, like, I mean, that wasn't put on until 1956. So they did keep kind of adding on to the place.
And you think maybe spirits from like that time frame after that portion was added, can they go to the other area of the building and vice versa? Like, if you're in a building and you're the spirit from 1810 and the building was added on to in 1950, can you go to the 1950 location if it wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, back then there was a house that sat there, and then after they tore that house down, it was just like a flower bed. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing there. So does that even exist to them? Is that even?
They may see it as that flower garden. They could be walking around thinking it's a garden. It could be, the grand hallway. What the frig is this?
Like, they don't see, like, which would be another good question. Do you think, for instance, and I'm going to elaborate on what they're saying, kind of like how that spirit won't go in the kitchen. Now, if that spirit isn't a residual haunting, but the nurses or the kitchen staff in the kitchen are, do you think a non-residual spirit could still see a residual spirit?
Ooh.
And kind of be like, I see them, but technically they're a residual. That residual won't see them.
God, man, that's crazy to even think about. Because now you could start to ask. I mean,
Gotta be smart.
it'd be
That
like
beer, man, kicks in.
Wicked.
my boy's wicked smart. But yeah, it makes you wonder, like if, like
Getting
say
that
for
brain juice
example,
there, Steve. I see that.
a residual haunt would be on the same plane of existence as an intelligent haunt,
Mm-hmm.
like which I should, that's kind of interesting though to entertain.
$5.
That's what I was thinking too. Is it different?
He's the guest.
The
He's the
residual
guest.
realm and an
Right,
intelligent
right.
realm.
Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah, I would agree. There would be a difference between an intelligence realm and a residual realm.
You would think,
because a residual wouldn't be able to respond to our questions, but an intelligent will.
It's Groundhog Day.
So do you?
For real, yeah.
So do you think a non-residual, an intelligent realm would experience or see Groundhog Day residual energy and how they would respond to it?
massive. Yeah, because what if then that's just a whole new series of ghosts for them? You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's kind of the groundbreaking thing is how do spirits see us? Do spirits see us as solid?
With what Nick even said last week about his EVP at the Washoe Club, are we experiencing almost like ourselves in a different time loop sometimes? Because I've heard stories too where people have seen, themselves walk down the hallway at in their house, and they're not dead, obviously, but like they see that almost residual haunting of themselves. So, the planes and the different time zone things are just.
I've been doing a lot of reading ever since we had that conversation with Nick last week. My mind is like gotten bigger than Matt's head. Like it's question after question after question.
It's interesting though too. So there's this really cool place here in Iowa.
Sorry, Matt.
The Farrar Schoolhouse, and the guy that's like walking you through the place. If you ever visit Farrar, the guy that's going to walk you through is this really cool cat named Will. Will is, God, he's got to be damn near 7 feet tall. Okay. Like Will is a tall drink of water. One of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. But upstairs on the 3rd floor of the Farrar Schoolhouse, there's these people that come in contact with a very tall shadow figure. And I think it was actually John Tenney that gave him the idea. He's like, well, what if it's just you? And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm right here. I'm alive. I'm talking to you right now. And he's like, no. Because what if it's you like 30, 40, 50 years from now? What if that's you? Interestingly enough, then, over here at Malvern, people will hear like whistling. Well, when I'm walking around this place all by myself, I whistle a lot because the place echoes and it sounds freaking badass. I like that. Sorry. But anyway, but they're also hearing keys jingling and stuff. And I always have 2 different things of keys like that are jangling all over me like all the time. And I'm like, damn it. Is this the same type of thing? Like, is it me 30, 40, 50 years from now that's like haunting this place? It's weird.
Right.
I have to.
Oh, go for it.
No, I just have to mention this just because I've been watching the chat. Cynthia, Roland's wife.
Yes.
She was asking about the light when the light got knocked over. Earlier, she had asked, do you experiment and pull Roland in there with you? I bet it was Roland messing with you, Josh.
Let me ask this real quick. Did Roland have something with his heart? Just out of curiosity, did he have a heart issue?
Not to my knowledge.
That's really weird.
It wouldn't
put that up, and I just very weird feeling right here on the left side, like my arm down through, like anxiety, hard to breathe. The second I put that on, I just very weird.
Could be the diabetes.
I would let
I would have alcohol rush.
Cynthia feel that for sure.
She said Malvern was one of his favorite places to investigate.
Absolutely. And
I'm getting whispering. Is somebody whispering? I'm getting tons of whispering in my headphones.
That's kind of sexy.
Shut up, Matt.
Do that again, Matt. Do that again.
Shut up, Matt.
Somebody screenshot that shit.
His heart stopped
Yeah.
3 times before he died.
Was that a drinking motion?
No,
or
look at that. Look at her
Alright.
comment.
So that's right.
As soon as I put that on the screen, I just felt right here. And I don't even know who Cynthia is. I don't know who Roland is. As soon as I put that on the screen, I just felt right here. Thank you for confirming that, Cynthia. That's amazing.
It was. I remember. I think
I'm
it
still
was
trying to catch my breath.
a day or two. It was like a day or two after Roland had passed, and Cynthia and I were chatting on the phone. I think we were just texting back and forth, and she asked, like, has he come to visit you? Is he messing with you in any way, shape, or form? Because heads up, he's probably going to do it, right? And I said, no, not yet. And it was right after I hit send on that, like the light that was right beside me, this lamp or whatever, flickered, went out, like the whole 9 yards. It was really freaking cool. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, okay. It was really weird timing. It was really weird.
I will say that somebody sent me, oh gosh, Cynthia, it was when you were doing one of your live, I think you do tarot reading or something like that. She was doing a live reading, and somebody had said that they had heard male whispering all throughout the whole session that you had when you were streaming live. I'll have to go back and find the specific live feed that they were talking about. I can send you a friend request, and then I will forward that message, and then maybe if you have someone that can look at it, or Josh can look at it, or somebody can, and maybe see if they can pick anything out.
That'd be freaking sweet.
I'm getting a mail. Like, I keep hearing a mail in my headphones. It's constant.
Weird.
I don't
hear anything, obviously, but I don't know if it was. That's weird. Yeah.
I don't hear it. So anyway,
do you think that when you work at a place like this and you own a place like this, it's kind of going back to like you haunting the building yourself? It's like, I go to like Adam Kimmel, he puts all that time and energy into Madison and in Fairfield. And to me, I think he's creating a haunting right now in real time because of all the energy and all the time and blood, sweat, tears that goes into these buildings. Like, you're leaving an imprint on this building, and why does it only have to, manifest or show itself once you're dead, if that makes sense? You know what I mean? Like, can't you be haunting a location while you're still alive if your energy is imprinted on it?
I would absolutely suggest, I would
Maybe
say it's
haunting is the
actually
wrong
possible.
term.
Yeah, but I mean, leaving some form of imprint, like you were suggesting, I think it's totally feasible. Yeah.
Nick Ross going to be haunting everywhere then. At this point.
No shit.
my gosh.
So you got
go
ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just filling in space.
Okay. I was just gonna say, what do you got planned big for Halloween, since it's on a Saturday this year? What do you got going on?
Oh, I know, right? So I'm definitely going to take the kids out and about and all that fun stuff. You know what I mean? We got to go get some candy and all that fun stuff. I really enjoy like passing out candy and stuff and seeing all the costumes. I like that stuff. But yeah, man, usually what I do is I'll just like find a scary movie or 3 and put it on the TV and just kind of let it go. And I love that stuff. It's just like, damn it. It's always like depressing to me because I know like once Halloween's here, then it's like everybody just starts talking about like Thanksgiving, and I'm just like, I'm like, whatever. But like, it is what it is. So, it's like Halloween is kind of
November 2nd is a sad day. At least November 1st, we have 50% off at Spirit Halloween. We got one more day.
Yeah.
So after that, it's all
everywhere.
Matt is such a positive rail like that. Oh, bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
Later, Mike.
I guess the answer, Tina, is Mike is not okay.
We'll catch Mike next week.
So, speaking of horror movies, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, man. It's got to be probably The Exorcist, honestly. Like The Exorcist, probably by far my favorite film, like just film in general. Just like, God dang, like that film does all sorts of weird things to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can watch that movie and you could just be scared out of your mind, right? Because it still scares me to this day. It's like, damn, that's weird. But you can watch that movie and feel uplifted at the same time. I think it's all how like you go about it, how you're entering into the film, right? Like how your mindset is. Like I don't know, but man, that movie's done some weird shit to me. That's for sure. So,
I actually just watched it the other day. It was on because this is the best time of year. Horror movies are on every channel 24/7 right now. It's a great time to be alive, you know?
Hell yes. I love that stuff.
Religious horror movies are freaking scary.
Yeah.
They scare the shit out of me.
There's always just a little more freak out with that. You know what I mean? Like just an added little thing with that. Yeah.
It's almost like it's more plausible, as crazy as that sounds.
No, it totally makes sense. Like there was that one movie, I forget what it's called. Like, God bless it. I don't remember what it was called. Stigmata. That's what it was called.
Oh yeah.
Trisha Arquette. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Can you
guys way back in the day?
The Exorcism of Emily Rose was a good one too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
That was a good movie, and I didn't expect it to be good because I thought I was like, wow, this is really courtroom drama type thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, God dang, like 70.
That was kind of like, we don't need this. I want to see more of the reenactment. Like,
yeah. It was like the flashbacks and stuff of like, I'm like, holy shit. Like there was some weird stuff in that. It was great though.
So weird thing, my internet randomly went out.
Yeah. Like we were wondering where you went. Yeah.
We thought
You were
Mike just
frozen for a minute.
Nick's giving you love in the comments.
Yeah, Nick's giving you some love, Josh.
That's hot.
That's basically the cue for you to get to work, I think.
Yeah, he's basically like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. Get out of here. Hurry up and go work.
Like, hey, don't that's what to do. I'm looking at the clock.
Real quick, before you go, thoughts on, we were talking about like intent with the horror movies going in. Thoughts on Ouija boards? What's your thought on those?
Yeah, I think a Ouija board, honestly, like for me anyway, right? Like a Ouija board has always been the exact same as a K2 meter, right? Or any other piece of tech or gadget or gizmo or geekometer that you can strap on your body. You know, like I think it's the same. It's just instead of like flashing lights and beeps and sounds and all this stuff, it's, you know, a board and a planchette, you know, but it's still question and answer, right? Like you're still asking questions, a battery of questions, and hopefully receiving an answer or response in some way. But I think honestly, I just don't see much of a difference, honestly, other than
to me, there's more room for human error than any of the new technology that we use now. How do you know somebody's not moving? How do you know it's not the ideomotor effect? Like there's just so much to it that's not paranormal related.
Yep, for sure. There's a lot of room for error, right? And that's with anything really that we do, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of room for error because we're the ones kind of, you know, manipulating it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Steve is still alive and he has 4,986 of them. So
no, listen, I'm not merch. I'm a smaller version of merch. I was talking to Merch earlier today. You know, he's going through his archive right now and getting ready to put some new stuff out. So I'm not there yet. Okay, I'm not even at the 100 mark yet. I'm hoping to get there soon.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
with your embalming table.
Over here. I got a couple over here that you can have too.
It's sold. That's how it works. Look at that. That's how I get them right there.
Of course, that's how it works.
Now you're gonna have a fight, Josh, because Matt and Steve are gonna like fight over it.
Hey, I'm very good to Matt. I sold Matt a board at cost that I could have sold him for so much more money.
But you still sold a $7 sticker.
Yeah, and then somebody moved my table at the convention, so we're kind of even now.
It was that damn Sasquatch.
It's that damn Sasquatch.
I turn around. We're at MadCon. I turn around from the. I went up to get some food at MadCon. I turn around. My table is gone. It's like 100 yards away in the middle of the parking lot. I'm there by myself, so I can't move it back.
You didn't even tell the story right. You didn't even know the table was moved when you sat down.
I did. I walked right through where the table would have been, and I sat down, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I looked up, and I was like, my table's not here.
What the hell?
It was a 6-foot folding table. You could hopefully move it on your own. No offense.
There was a lot of expensive stickers on there.
It was about $1,000 worth of stickers. There was 3 of them.
God. But I don't know. I think this sounds like we just added another location to our Booze and Booze travel list here. We got to get over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely got to get down there. Spend some time down there, investigate, and yeah, for sure. You sound like you're a busy dude. So we appreciate you coming on and chatting with us. And
oh yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun.
You're Always.
And we didn't even hear from Mitch.
Yeah,
I
Mitch
know.
is
Like he's passed out. He's just drunk. He's just hammered.
I love you, boys.
Can you hear that?
There he is.
You hear that? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I love you, boy.
No, that's definitely. We'll have you on again. Like Mike was saying, you're always welcome. Come back on, have some more drinks, talk some more nonsense, and see what's going on there.
Hell yeah, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to get rid of those Ouija boards, you can just DM me.
Listen, he already said me. That's just how it works.
I'll fight you on next week's episode, Steve.
I want to.
All right. New Booze and Booze tradition, guys. Mentioned it in the chat today. I got like 5.
Don't read the chat.
So if this gets posted, we got to end now.
Okay.
My computer kicked me off the internet. I'm sorry. I don't know why. It's a piece of shit. But we're signing out for the night, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
I'll see you
everybody.
later.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you
here.
again. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
See you guys next week.